which are going to make it a lot easier when we're dealing with dates or date-time data types in MySQL. So if you remember from before, in the exercises I was asking you to extract data from certain months or between two dates, and it was kind of tricky because you had to write out quite a long SQL query with the full date, so between this date and this date. But there are some functions in MySQL which make it a lot easier when dealing with dates, and the one we're going to look at in this video is the date function. So basically the date function extracts the date from a date or a date-time data type. So if we look at this example here, you can see it, and then in brackets there's this date, so 2018 June the 5th. And if we run this query, so select date from this date in this bracket, we can see it returns the date 2018-06-05, which is unsurprising. But if we were to modify this date by adding a time after the date, so let's say 07:45:32, so this is now looks like a date time data type. If we were to run the query again, you can see it still just extracts and returns the date part of this string. And we can also apply this date function to column data within our database. So using our cinema booking system, let's use this date function on some column data. So let's select start time from screenings. So the start time column in the screenings table is of data type date time. So you can see from the results we have a date plus a time. So we have 2017 October the 1st and then a time, and so on and so on. But if we were to use the date function on this start time column, we can actually just extract the date. So let's copy and paste our query and type date and then put the start time in brackets. So now we're applying the date function to the start time column from the screenings table, and you can see it just returns the date. So we've got 2017-10:01 but no time, and so on and so on. You can see 2017-10:02, and then it just carries on. And this becomes useful when we start using where clauses. Let's say we wanted to select all the data from the screenings table where the date was equal to October the 3rd, 2017. We can type select star from screenings, and then we can put in our where clause, we can put date start time. So we're applying the date function to the start time column again, and we can say equal to 2017-10:03 in single quotes. So where date start time is equal to 2017-10:03, and if we run that query, you can see it returns all the data where the start time date is equal to 2017-10:03. So we have 2017-10:03 at 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5, 7, 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And if we ran the same query but without using the date function, you can see what error we're going to get. So we're just saying where start time is now equal to 2017-10:03, and you can see it returns no data because there's no start time which exactly equals 2017-10:03. So we have to use the date function for this to work. And you can see now we have our data returned. And I'll show you one final example where we'll return data from between two dates. So let's copy and paste this last query here, and then we can change this equals to a between. So we want to return data between 2017-10-03 and 2017-10-05, so the 5th of October. So we can come in here and we can type and then in single quotes 2017-10-05, and then if we run this query, you can see it returns all the data from start time 2017-10-03 to 2017-10-05. So this date function becomes really useful when we're trying to get data from between two dates. You can see the difference if we just said where start time is between 2017-10-03 and 2017-10-05. You can see it still returns the data for the 3rd of October and the 4th of October, but it doesn't return the data for the 5th of October, and that's because of the time in the datetime data type. So when we run this query without the date function on the start time, is actually taking this value here to be 2017-10-05 at 00:00:00, so at midnight. So every date time on the 5th of October is actually after this time, so it doesn't fall between these two dates, so it doesn't get returned in the results. Whereas if we're just using the date function on the start time column, obviously now it's going to return all the data on this date, because we're only interested in what the date says. So you can see it returns from the 3rd to the 5th of October 2017. So that's it for this video on the date function. So basically what the date function does is it